Time now for the Stacey and Hutch Say Too Much podcast.
Hide the children.
Where, you guessed it, the dynamic afternoon duo say way too much.
I won't shave armpits. Does it hurt when it grows back?
If there's any ingrown situations, that can be very painful.
No, seriously, that was way too much.
Pit stains. I think they're sexy in certain situations.
So if you're still listening, here they are to start the pod.
Why, I never.
Stacey and Hutch.
I'm not sure how I feel about that open. We may have to discuss that, Ross.
The plan was to let it run for a month or two and then mix it up.
Oh,
so we can easily mix that up.
We'll say something weirder than that. I don't know. He's obsessed with body hair.
It's body hair, and the pit stains comment really throws me off.
I know.
I don't know. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad.
Of course not. But the things he says.
I just don't know the scenario in which that is very sexy.
Exactly. Welcome to our weird little podcast. Stacey and Hutch Say Too Much. I'm Stacey, and Hutch is not here, so he won't be saying anything. He's busy out greeting his fine public, as he is a handsome man now. And so Ross has graciously accepted the appointment of hanging out with me and only with me.
Just you and I get to press all the buttons today.
Fun.
I have all the power, which is both exhilarating and terrifying.
Exactly. But we're still going to have fun today. We're going to be talking about secrets of McDonald's.
And food secrets.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a former corporate chef at McDonald's who is pretty popular now on TikTok, and he's spilling secrets about their food, and their TikTok viewers are loving it. Did you catch that? They're loving
They're
it.
And I'm loving it.
I thought you'd catch that. Anyway, his name is Chef Mike Herox. I'm not sure how to say it, but you're trying to find the little song, weren't you? Anyway,
trying to find.
I'm not sure how to say it, but if you want to follow him, it's HARACZ. So I think the Z must be the silent part. But McDonald's has some of the most famous food in the world, of course, because they're everywhere. And his posts are pretty interesting and fun to watch. He shares a lot of secrets about how their fast food items are made. And so the reason he knows all this stuff is he used to be a corporate chef for McDonald's. So he has seen everything. He knows all this stuff. Now, some of it is maybe scandalous.
You know what I found really interesting here, though, on the scandalous side?
What?
We had kind of a behind-the-scenes version of this just a few months back.
Yes.
With our friends at Taco John's.
Yes.
So now when he starts talking, it really kind of lends credibility to what we saw, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
You know this guy's legit.
Yeah.
Because we saw a form of it behind the scenes at another company.
We saw like the corporate kitchen, how they figure these things out when they're testing out new recipes and stuff. Well, anyway, here's some things that we've learned so far from Chef Mike. The burgers are made of 100% beef.
I love it. Great sell.
A lot of people think it's mystery meat, but no, he says it is 100% meat. He had special access, obviously, to the, manufacturing areas and the meat grindy parts, whatever you call that. So it is 100% beef. He knows exactly what does and doesn't go into the beef patties. It's just beef, no filler, no additives, no preservatives. How do you feel about that?
I actually feel really good about that, because I will tell you, one of my guilty pleasures, I don't think I have to admit that it's a guilty pleasure. I love the McDouble from McDonald's. I really miss the double cheeseburger still, but the McDouble.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore?
I think it's been completely weeded out.
Well, that's just not right.
Because you can't even, maybe if you ask for it, you can get it, but I do not see it on the menu. And it used to be a value meal option. I never see that either. But the McDouble's fantastic. So that's great to know.
Not all of the burger patties come frozen. It depends on which burger you're talking about. Most of them do get frozen because of shipping. But after they form the patties, they'll freeze them, ship them to the restaurants. But the quarter pounder patties, they are refrigerated. They're packed in a certain manner. And then he says he thinks they're also gas flushed. I'm not sure what that means, but
I don't want to know.
I know. I'm sure that's an industry term that I forgot to look up, but they give them a little extra refrigerated shelf life before they're sent to the restaurants. What are the burger seasonings? Do they have special seasoning? No, it's salt and pepper. Duh. That's it. French fries. Now, the French fries are special. They are made from real whole potatoes that are cut up to make the fries. And they prefer the varieties of the russet Burbank because those can get really nice long French fries because those suckers can get big. They have plant workers that wash them, they steam them, they peel them, and then they sort them and they trim off any brown spots or areas that don't look good enough, that they don't meet the standards. They use a potato cannon.
What you just said,
Yeah.
if you back up like 2 sentences,
Yes.
very artistic.
What?
The removing of things that don't look good.
Yes.
Yeah. And truthfully, you kind of need to do that to sell your product, right?
Yeah, it's got to look good.
Yeah, it's got to look good. Do you want to know what gas flushed means?
Yes, do tell.
Okay, so it is the process of replacing the oxygen in food packaging with an inert gas such as nitrogen or carbon dioxide.
Aha.
This slows the decay of the product.
So basically vacuum sealed, kind of?
Yeah, it's just in a weird way, is it just another way? It's a preservative, right?
Yeah.
To kind of preserve the item.
Well, that makes sense. Okay, that doesn't scare me at all. That sounds normal.
Yeah, and I think we all know. I mean, I don't think these are trade secrets. I think
Right.
we all know when we go to McDonald's, we're not getting beef that was alive a few days ago. I think we all understand that.
Right.
Right? Like it's not, I think we all know it's not like legitimately from butcher shop to restaurant within a couple days.
Oh, I don't know. I don't. It's pretty. I think it might be pretty fresh.
Is it?
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah. I mean, it's not like weeks old, but I mean, it will be frozen ASAP.
Yes.
They, like I said, they do use a potato cannon. Some people, I think they call it isn't it called a potato gun
Yes.
for some
Yep.
too? But I think they don't like to use that word instead. But the cutting and the sorting process involves shooting potatoes out of a cannon. The spuds are shot at ridiculously high speeds through a pipe-like contraption that cuts the potatoes into fry shapes. And then they're also shot into the air and inspected for any imperfections. Now, that sounds like the fun part of the job.
That's another fun part. That would be the quality control, right? Or the
Yeah.
quality inspection.
A little burst of air will shoot any fries with imperfections out of the way while the rest will continue along the process. And then cooking fries, that's a multi-step process. After they're cut and sorted, they are blanched in water, dried, and then par fried, which means it gets to an internal temp of 160 degrees, and then they cool it to room temperature. Then they freeze them and then ship them off to the actual restaurants. And then they deep fry them, give them a light coating of salt, and serve them to you, friends.
Now, do we know how McDonald's feels about Chef Mike being out there giving away some of these secrets?
I haven't heard that. I was kind of hoping that I might find some info. I didn't see anything, but he's not telling anything bad.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's all truth and nothing scandalous has come out yet. And he doesn't work for them anymore. So what does he care?
And he's not giving away any secret sauces or anything,
Right.
so to speak.
And he's not disparaging the company. And what he's saying is the truth, even if it is unsavory.
And actually, to your point, in a very nice way, he's kind of talking up the company.
Yeah, he kind of is.
You're kind of feeling a little bit better about the product.
We do have one of the latest secrets from Chef Mike, straight from his TikTok account. So here's the latest one that I found for you guys. Right.
Did you know McDonald's American cheese is tempered before they use it in the restaurants? I'm a former McDonald's corporate chef. Explain to you that McDonald's takes big hunks of cheese out of their refrigerator. They put them in a certain area of the kitchen to temper before use. They don't want it as cold. And they are allowed to let this cheese sit out in ambient temperatures for 4 hours. A couple reasons why they do this. They want meltier cheese. So if the cheese is not as cold, it will melt a little better. It is a little bit more pliable when it is warmer. You still have to be pretty delicate with it, but cold cheese can kind of crack where a little tempered cheese technically is a little easier to peel off the big loaf. But the biggest reason why they temper their cheese is because their burgers are not overly hot. Yes, the quarter pounders in the United States are now cooked to order with fresh beef. They've been doing that for a couple of years. But all of the burgers in the UHC that are held, your hamburger, your cheeseburger, your Big Mac, those are not right fresh off the grill. They are not super hot. They do make sure that the cheese touches the meat on every burger. There should not be ingredients in the way, but with their new process that they talked talked about meltier cheese. Not sure how they're doing that, getting meltier cheese. I know they add onions on the grill now to Big Macs and cheeseburgers and stuff like that. So maybe that helps melt the cheese. But all of the McDonald's cheese is not refrigerated while they use it. It is just sitting out on a counter, and hopefully they don't overhold it.
I'm not freaked out by that.
No, me neither. And here's why. Cheese, the entire process of cheese is so weird. It's kind of like wine, right? Oftentimes, the older the cheese, and unless it's starting to change color, a lot of people say it's better that way, or it's been aged so long, or it's been aged this way.
And it's so true. It cracks.
I'm not bothered by that in the least.
Right. And there's so many preservatives in cheese that it's preserved already. And I do that. I mean, I do that with my sticks of butter. Like this morning, I had a caramel roll, and I was like, I want it to be buttery, and I didn't want to heat the caramel roll. So I knew I was going to have it the night before, so I left my butter out on the counter. A lot of people are weird about that, and they don't like to do that. But I was like, I want it to be spreadable.
If you leave your butter out, I have a butter dish, okay, and then you
Yes.
you put the top over it, right?
Yeah. Is it a butter bell?
No, it's not a butter bell.
Okay.
How long can I go before I need to replace that butter? Are we talking days? Is it weeks?
I don't know.
How long is that butter good for?
I usually give it a sniff, and if it smells rancid, we're out.
See, that's what I do. That's exactly what I do. I know it will keep better if you leave it in the fridge.
Yeah.
But to your point, if you want to spread it on something, unless whatever it is insanely hot, then you're doing that old trick of you're putting the butter on, then maybe you're taking like the 2 pieces of bread, putting it between to melt it. That's a process. I don't like doing that. I like spreadable butter too.
Another thing you can do too is if you have a microwave, you can put a glass of water or something in there.
Yes. Yeah.
And then heat it up, and then pour the water out, and then put it over the hunk of butter. But again, that's a lot of work for me.
Another hot tip.
Okay.
See, now you're getting classic Ross going all over different directions.
Yeah.
Great way to clean the microwave is to also put like a cup of water in for 2-3 minutes, hit start, take it out, then, spray it down with whatever you want to spray it with. It'll help get that crud out of there.
Put a little slice of lemon in that water. Squeeze some lemon in there. Yeah.
Just the lemon must eat away at it, right?
Lemon is a natural cleanser.
Ugh.
Lemon is my favorite thing in the world.
Lemon water in the summer. So
See,
it's good all the time, but I love it in the summer.
It's like we're Martha Stewart and Bob Vila.
Julia Child
all wrapped in one.
Vila.
I don't know.
I've been on a Home Improvement kick.
Yeah.
Do you remember watching that show back in the 90s? The Tim Taylor, Bob Vila rivalry?
Yes.
One of the greatest rivalries in all of
Bob Vila stopped taking my calls.
Time.
It's sad.
Oh.
Anyway, well, let's move on to a little bit of snack chat.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Maybe.
Push the button.
Maybe
there,
I should hit
dude.
the button.
What's the latest grub?
Soup's on, fat boy.
You'll
Sorry,
find out
Hutch.
what's an oral gasm
Your chicken is delectable.
and what's dorm food.
It's disgusting.
Because it's time to test your taste buds as we now present Stacy and Hutch's Snack Chat.
I found a delicious bite, and you found a beverage.
Yes.
So this I found, it's a new thing from Hostess. It's called Kaz Bars, and it's chocolate and caramel together. 2 of my favorite things. There's pieces of sweet crunch, fluffy chocolate cake, and ooey gooey caramel and creme, and delightful drizzle, it says.
Wasn't this a Clash song? Rock the Casbars, rock the
Oh, it was
Casbars.
Casbah.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know where, but these are bars. So here in Minnesota, we like our bars.
I love your Minnesota accent. It's so on point.
It's it's my family. So
Should I give this thing a whirl?
give it a whirl. This is what I
bet you
like
it's
about them.
fantastic.
There's no artificial flavors or colors, and there's
Okay.
no high fructose corn syrup, which I think is great because corn syrup often gives me a coughing fit, which is irritating. So they're all individually wrapped, which is also nice. So if you give one to your kids, which is I'm sure they're excellent for your children. But here's what they look like unwrapped. What do you think of them?
They're good.
I liked them.
I'll actually give them some credit here. This does not taste as I think you've used the term before on this pod. This does not taste as plasticky as you would expect it to, right?
Yeah.
This actually tastes. It's got that Hostess taste, if that makes sense. But it tastes legit.
And there's 8 of them in one box, and I actually had to write on the top of it when I brought them in, "Don't eat it, Stacy," because there were 2 left for the podcast, and I saved them. So I was like, I don't want to eat these because I want to use them for the podcast.
I did something similar. I've been telling you and Hutch for 2 years now, I'll start bringing in stuff for Snack Chat. And of course, I go to the store once a week and I always forget to look for things new, so I never bring anything in.
Today was the day.
Today was the day, and Hutch isn't here. And it's funny because when I brought in, you actually exchanged a message with me and said, "Oh, I heard about a new Coke product."
Mhm.
Well, it turns out the Coke product you heard about is exactly what I bought. This is called Coca-Cola Y3000 limited edition. There were 2 at the Speedway next to us.
All right, why don't you pour it up and I'll tell everybody about it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so they just dropped this latest mystery soda flavor, Coca-Cola Y3000. It's the taste of the future. So how did they create
Didn't
this?
they rip that from Pepsi, by the way?
I don't know.
The taste of the next generation.
Oh, I've never heard that. It was crafted using insights from both humans and artificial intelligence on what the future may taste like. So Coca-Cola is being intentionally vague about what the flavor is going to be, what the actual flavor is. So apparently we'll have to buy and crack it open and figure out for ourselves what it tastes like. Y3000 is the latest in their weird line of mystery, non-traditional soda flavors. They've been doing this since 2022. Coca-Cola Ultimate, that was supposed to taste like experience points from the online battle arena video game League of Legends. Starlight, the outer space flavored soda. Then there was Dream World, inspired by the human imagination. Then we had Bite, which was pixel flavored. And now we have Y3000.
Can we back up just a tiny bit? All those things that you said it's supposed to taste like this, those are like inanimate objects.
Yes.
How does something taste like an object?
How does it taste like pixels?
So
I don't know.
this one had a regular option and a 0 sugar option. As a
Exactly.
diabetic, I went with 0 sugar.
Thank you.
So, and I figured you would like that as well. So let's
All
give
right.
this a whirl.
Let's give it a flavor.
I do like the can or the bottle.
I have to cough. I'm not sure if I even know what this tastes like.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither. That's. I was kind of expecting this would just be another form of like Diet Coke or Coke Zero.
Mhm.
It tastes like, I'm going to try one more time.
Since you said Pepsi, I had Pepsi in my head. It doesn't taste like Pepsi, but
I would encourage people to try it and let us know. Oh, I almost burped on air too. My apologies.
I don't know what that tastes like.
It tastes like this sounds bad. It kind of tastes like a watered down fruity drink.
Yeah, a little bit. That's brown. And the brown confuses you. Here's some more things. It says, now a lot of these mystery flavors, they've been launching them with some digital experiences. And so people can immerse themselves in the concepts behind these drinks. But, I'm just thirsty.
Yeah, I know.
So clearly they're not targeted to people like me and probably not you either. So actually is there a QR code on that bottle? Because you're supposed to be able to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to scan it. And then you
I'll
can
do that right now.
go to the Coca-Cola Creations Hub and you can filter photos through this AI camera to envision what their current reality would look like in the future. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I just want to drink the pop. But
right.
Let's give this a whirl here.
They've also teamed up with the fashion brand Ambush for a limited edition line of apparel and accessories inspired by the future. Okay.
Okay. Which I'm assuming the moment I get to this webpage, if it ever opens, will be trying to sell me all those.
Oh,
all those
absolutely.
items, right?
But it's in grocery stores this week, so we can all enjoy.
Smart label product information. Level up with Ultimate. Learn how to recycle this project.
Oh.
Learn more about Coca-Cola.
Lucky you.
Well, that's kind of odd. They're not really telling me anything when I get there.
Well, that sounds really fun, doesn't it? Like that last thing I want is one more website to go to.
It kind of tastes like a fruity, like a Sierra Mist,
I see
which is not their product. So like a Sprite with like cherry or something is what it tastes like.
Yeah, there's definitely a fruity option.
And I wonder,
there.
are they maybe giving that away? I'll pass this bottle over to you. Are they maybe giving that away with some of the colors that are on here?
Maybe.
And is that like a cherry stir stick? What is that? Do you see that at the bottom of the label there?
Oh, it looks like a Q-tip. Right here.
Right there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, right above my finger. It looks like a Q-tip that's been dipped in lip gloss.
Here's the thing. I will finish it because there's zero sugar and it's not going to mess with my blood sugars like this Kazam bar will or Casbah bar.
I swallowed wrong in the beginning, and now I've got like this thing in my throat now. Yeah, it's not very carbonated either, and I don't like that because it goes flat quickly.
Would you buy it again?
Mm-mm.
See, I wouldn't either. I will finish it.
Yeah.
Because I paid $3 American for it. So I will finish
Which is ridiculous.
it. Yeah, I actually went on that rant too, by the way. Do you remember, this will make us sound so old.
What?
Back in our day, that bottle, like a 20-ounce bottle, or is that 16? I don't know what that is. 16, 20? What are those bottles?
20.
That was like $1.59 as little as what, 5 years ago?
Yeah. Inflation hurts people.
I know it does. I know it does.
You know, we shouldn't be drinking soda anyway, but
Yeah. No, we shouldn't be. I'm fascinated by all that McDonald's stuff that you told us about.
I know, it's kind of cool.
It makes me feel good. And I don't know, did you ever watch the movie The Founder?
I think so.
About McDonald's. And again, I'm sure they take a liberty, so I don't know how true to form it is.
Is that the one and has Michael Keaton in it?
Correct. Yep.
I think I did, yeah.
Yep, and he plays basically Mr. McDonald, who bought the original franchise or stores from Mac and Don.
Mr. Kroger.
Yeah, or whoever it was. And I just think it's intriguing. The story is incredible from where they started to where they're at now, and how, especially in this country, I can't speak for like other countries outside of Canada. Every McDonald's is the same.
People like what they know.
It's incredible how consistent they are across all of their stores and their brand. And I know there are many brands that do that, but it's insane how they have perfected that. And really, for the most part, I think the first ones to do it. It's incredible.
I think you might be right.
Were there any other big chains in the 50s taking over 50s and 60s?
I'm not sure. I don't know. That might be a subject for another podcast.
A subject for another podcast. Is it time to get out of here?
It's time to go. We have things to take care of.
And things to do. Hey, in the post show, I'm going to tell you about how I, in an alternate reality, would have a lot of McDonald's money and I wouldn't be here today.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, it'll be very intriguing.
Well, thank you everyone for still enjoying the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, even though we don't have our Hutchman, but hopefully he'll be back with us next week and doesn't have any other big plans. But you can follow us on our socials at StacyKS95 on Instagram, Stacy Smoke Show on TikTok. Hutch is HutchKS95 on Instagram. And Ross, you have the Ross Brendel on Instagram. Are you on TikTok now?
I am not on the TikTok yet. I should be, because all the cool kids are.
They are. Always watch our podcast on YouTube too, and at KS95.com. And I don't know, wherever else you can find podcasts. This one's a video one, so you could, I don't know, just scream until someone points you in the right direction.
Watch at YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Yay.
So back in, I guess it would be the 60s. The time frame's a little bit off. I did, going back a few years ago, my grandmother passed away, I think, in 2019, and she was almost 99.
Wow.
Prior to that, a few years prior, could have been months, time flies, I actually sat down and did an interview with her. Like, just interviewed her on things. What does she remember about growing up? What does she remember about depression? All that stuff.
Sure.
And one thing that came up that I knew, at one point, we had a family member who ran in some similar circles with the Krocs. Ray Kroc had kind of moved here when he took, I don't know if he moved here, but he took a lot of
at some point.
Took a lot of McDonald's here, and they were starting to grow the brand, so he was here in Minnesota.
So she was running fast and loose.
Somehow, some family member tried setting up my grandmother with Ray Kroc.
No way.
And they were in certain areas together at times, but it just never materialized. And she wasn't interested. She had her eyes set on Billy Graham.
Wow.
And of course, not like in that romantic sense, but she goes, I was just more interested in the Billy Graham types.
Huh.
And then I went home that day and thought, if Grandma would have remarried Ray Kroc, my life would be entirely different.
You wouldn't be sitting with this bimbo.
Oh, don't take it that way. I love you, Stacy. But it is kind of funny where you think about that. I'm like, I wouldn't be a working schlub anymore. I'd be maybe I would be. I'd have some role at corporate McDonald's, I guess.
Or you might be running a couple of franchises and you'd smell like French fries and everybody would love you more.
Oh, everybody would love me. They'd be all over me. So instead of like the 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon, mine is like the 6 degrees of separation of Ray Kroc, I guess.
That's kind of fun,
So,
though.
yeah.
Interesting. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't it interesting just in general
Is it?
how one little decision, it's the butterfly effect, right? It can
Yeah.
change everything
I don't
for
think
better
I-
or worse.
I
And by
don't-
the way,
I
I
don't
love
have a
my
story
life.
like that.
I'm sure if you really thought about it, though, I'm sure there's some story or some scenario where if one little thing happened, I'm not asking you to do it now.
Well, somebody years ago put together and before we had, the interwebs, somebody in our family put together like a backstory of our family trees. And I have both of those things, and I'm going to have to look through them sometime and figure out what's going on, to the point where they didn't know my name yet.
Okay.
So it said,
TBD.
yeah, right. It said Scott David, Shannon Denise, and question mark. And I'm like, nobody knows me yet. So I'll have to look at that. Maybe there is a funky story like that, because both my grandparents on my dad's side were gone before I was born, and my grandfather on my mom's side was gone before I was born. So I don't know much about those people at all.
Nobody knew you then, but thanks to the internet, YouTube, and this podcast, everybody knows who Stacy is.
Sorry. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.